Everyone. Welcome to our session. While we are waiting for our host to join, she's having some technical difficulties. Let me begin with introducing the guest, distinguished guest, just joined today's session. I will start with introducing our guest. Start with Mr. Prakash Pandey, who is our running the MATES education and who is president of ECAN, followed by Vegian Shrestha, president of NIRE. And of course, we've got Esker Shrestha from Professional Education and Consultancy, Ram Chandra from Grace International. Welcome on board. Thank you very much for joining this session. Let me begin with the reason for this session that we call upon and actually invited our expertise who are in the industry for a number of years and who has got very insight knowledge about this current situation, what's happening around the ground due to this COVID challenge that we've been facing for last 8 months or so. So thank you very much for joining this session. I believe we'll be able to take away some of the information that will help our students as well as the community to see what needs to be done at this stage when we're preparing ourselves to see where and how we can engage ourselves to start our process to start our journey to study abroad. Now, I can see our the host, Sapna Tapalia, who is directing Study Path Education Consultancy. I will give over to floor to Sapna to take over and start the session. Thank you, Sapna.
Thank you, Mamun. Hello, am I audible to everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. So sorry, guys, I was having some technical issues, but yes, good afternoon, namaste to everyone. Greetings to all the panel members, parents, and student attending this live session here. So I am Sapna Thapalia, Destination Manager, Study Path Consultant, and I have been working in this industry since past 4 years, and I got an opportunity to be career guide for hundreds of students, and I take today an immense pleasure to announce myself as a host of today's program. Thank you everyone for giving me that opportunity. And before moving toward this session, I would like to give a little background about today's program. So today we're going to be discussing about the opportunities and challenges we are facing in the study abroad sector. So we are very much aware that the present world has been facing so much of challenges from ongoing pandemic, right? So all the plans and projects that we have been running, they are not going as per our interest. Be it opening an organization or having vacation with your loved ones, and even day-to-day activities, they are not going as per our interest because of the COVID. And the pandemic has also affected the international education sector. We are very aware of that. The many students who wants to apply to abroad, they are in stage of confusion, and they are facing a lot of obstacles and stuff. So now for some people, these obstacles can be the challenge and opportunities in present time, because in this time, it's the right time to take it all as an advantages. And in today's program, we're gonna say how the dreams and the project of student to study in Australia can actually be converted into reality. Okay, if we stick to the plans and project as per our checklist that we have prepared, then the dreams to study in Australia can actually happen in reality. And thanking to all the online mode of studies that has made remote studies very much flexible, and has saved our time and money and all the process that can be a little overwhelming once the Australian borders start to open. So without taking much of our time, I actually want to welcome our panel members who are here to give us their expert insight regarding all the areas. So I want to welcome our panel members. So the first panel members of our program is Mr. Prakash Pandey, Managing Director, MERS Education, and the President of the ECAN, Educational Consultancy Association of Nepal, and Chairman Andex. Welcome, sir. So our next panel member is Mr. Bigyan Shrestha. He is Managing Director, President of Nepalese Association of Australia Education Representative, NIRE. Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Sabanaji.
Then there is Mr. S.K. Shrestha. He is Executive Director, Professional Education Consultancy, and the Founder President of ECAN. Welcome, sir, to the program.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Then we have Mr. Ramchandra Paurel. He is Managing Director, Grace International, and Vice President of AECA. Welcome, sir, to the program. And last but not the least, Mr. Abdul Mamun, General Manager Marketing, Victorian Institute of Technology. He has been with VIT since last 15 years and has huge experience in the Australian education sector. Mr. Mamun, welcome to you.
Thank you, Sapna.
Okay, so I want to give a little information to our panel members regarding how the program will begin. So we will discuss 3 main topics that will include the COVID-19 response from Australia, student preparedness, and opportunities and challenges that students are facing. And we'll be having the question and answer session. And I would also request all the students that if they have any question regarding, regarding Australian education or the current situation, then they can drop down the question in our chat box that we'll later answer at the end of the session. So now I would like to move forward with the questions. So as I have previously said that the online studies has made a dream to study in Australia into reality. So to discuss more about what actually online studies is, I want to ask Mr. Askar Shrestha, sir, to tell the advantage and benefit and actually what is the online study pattern. So Mr. Askar Shrestha, sir, I want to ask you, what are the advantages and the benefit of online studies in Australia?
Thank you, Shapana Thapaliaji and VIT team, Mamun, for organizing this event and inviting us, from Naya, from Weekend, from Eka also. This online mode is a very unique mode for Nepalese students, even though the onshore students are quite familiar with the online mode of study, but Nepalese students are not that familiar. We never experience this kind of situation here, and except some of the people going for the professional online courses, we are not experienced. So when we speak about the online model, the students were quite surprised, and it was very difficult to convince them. There were some flaws also, but gradually students now understood the benefit of those online courses, and students, I think, now started enrolling slowly. Even though number is not that fantastic, but they have understood the importance, the value of online courses, and they have started enrolling. Now, when we talk about the advantage, I think the foremost and the most important, the benefit is, they can continue their studies. There is no time loss, they can meet the career goal. It means they can start from here when they are in Nepal, and they can continue rest of the program in Australia. When the border opens, they can go and they can finish their course on time. It means there is no waste of time. If they go for the bachelor, they can finish the bachelor in 3 years. If they go for the master's, they can finish the master's in 2 years. Or if the diploma, they can finish diploma in 1 year. So this is very, very important because they save lots of time. Okay, now what are the benefits? Like while they study here, they can get lots of benefits. They can acquire lots of benefits. It all depends on students. When they are here, they are at home. So they are learning Australian education. They are getting Australian qualification, being with family, enjoying home meal, and then rest of the time they are free. Now they can utilize that time for the benefit. What are the benefits? See, they can develop some of the enterprise skills, soft skills, when they are here because they are free, and they can develop some digital literacy also. There are lots of online training, these kind of things which are very much essential when they go to Australia and look for a job, or after the graduation they look for a job. So these kind of skills, the enterprise skills or digital literacy, are going to help them a lot, which they can learn from here, and some of the universities are offering them free of cost, so they can do that. And another one is the virtual work experience. There are lots of events going on with the virtual work experience events, the workshops. Like even I just came to know that QUT did that kind of virtual work experience. So students can join that and have that kind of experience, work experience, but virtually. And some of the universities at the moment, because of this COVID pandemic, some of the universities are offering tuition fees rebates in terms of discounts or scholarships. I think that's going to help a lot. Some of the universities or institutes, private institutions, including, are offering 10% rebates or 20% rebates or 25%. So I think that's going to help a lot. And when they study here, they have a flexibility of timing. Yes, some of our students, who enroll, they complain that classes start at 4 a.m. in the morning, which is like, our kids, they are late night kids and late morning kids. So it's difficult for them, but gradually they are used to. So when we talk about online courses, they can attend the program as per the schedule. If not, most of these kind of online courses are recorded, so they can access them and they can go through that, and in the dashboard they can meet lots of friends from different countries. All are doing online, so they can discuss with other friends in the dashboard. So these are the benefits, and I think the most important is it shows the commitment of a student, that he or she is committed to go to Australia, because there is, without wasting of time, he or she started. So I think that will have some positive impact in the visa processing. That's what I think. So these are very important, I think, advantages for students to start online courses. So now over to you.
Yeah, thank you, sir. It seems very much promising, the less living cost and the commitment they are showing. I think, thank you, sir. That is really promising. And I would also request everyone to mute their microphone, let the speaker talk. So please, I request everyone to mute the microphone apart from the speaker. So moving back to the questions, I would like to ask Mr. Mamoon that we know that students are still not very compatible with this online study pattern. No, they are still confused that I'll get all the benefits that the student who has been studying in, onshore, they are getting. So what are the tools that the VIT offers to online students to facilitate their learning process?
Thank you, Sapna. Thank you, SK, for putting a lot of positive notes on that students who are wanting to do online classes or the prospect about the online classes. See, look, we looked at the online classes, the platform, how it will benefit our students. We've been delivering online classes over more than 2 years, not just when the pandemic hit the ground. So it is quite interactive. It is quite engaging. See, online classes, it gives you opportunity to raise your hand, ask you questions. The VIT actually made it very easy for students to have a one-on-one session, and you can go to a classroom or separate room or meeting room to have a one-on-one session to ask question and clarify a few things. In a big classroom, in a big auditorium, when you see hundreds of students or 50 students or 60 students, it's very difficult for us to raise our question. We might think, okay, what others are gonna say? If I ask a question, they might think I'm silly. So with online, you don't see each other's face. So you just raise your hand, you ask your question, you clarify that. So it is very, very good. And traditionally, if we go back and think about what is the online classes, traditionally, the online classes was like, you go to your online portal, you log in, you download the assessment, and you do your assessment and you submit it later on. But these online classes in 21st century, how they made it is very, very interactive. This century is like people wants to see and work virtually. Okay, so we see that a lot of industry are working in there virtually. So we need to understand our students and also the community, then how we can engage and how we can skill ourselves up to that level so that we can go with the current trend. So the VIT has got this online class platform that made students to engage. We see from the face-to-face classes, we see more students are coming to online classes. As SK Sesta mentioned, one of the point, it is very flexible. The time is on your hand. You are sitting in your bedroom under your blanket. You can log into your PC and you can start your class. So there are many benefits. Not only that, if somehow you miss out the classes, you have opportunity to see the recording. go back and ask, see what's going on, and you can clarify those things. So there are number of things that we have done, and of course we take a regular feedback from our students. How can we improvise that? How can we improve that? So over time we have seen there are much more interest, and engaging students these days are doing this through online classes, which is really good, I guess.
It's so good to know that VIT is taking care of students even in the remote learning platform. So I want to go back to Mr. Ramchandra, sir. So we got to know that the benefit of online studies and how the universities and the institution are taking care of their students even in the remote learning platform. But still, we are not sure when the Australian borders are, are going to open. And this is the major question for students, like when we don't know what is the exact timing. So in this scenario, do you think we should apply to Australia, or we should wait till the border opens?
Thank you, Sapnaji. It's a very good question. So lots of students also asking to us, through our Facebook and other social media. That's definitely. I want to add, a couple of things in the online study. That's, learning is one part. Doing the study, getting the learning is one part, and having the, more, knowing the multicultural. All the international students, they love to, learn the multicultural. So that's also one part. Right? Let's say coming through the not only Nepal, even India, even different other European countries here in Australia, right? They know the other culture also, isn't it? Once they be here physically, they will know the other culture also. That's one part. And the good part is, Australian government has already announced those students who do study there in the online mode, let's say 1 or 2 semesters, it won't be any affected for them post-study work, right? Once they finish their degree, and there is a from the Australian government, there is a privilege for the international student. They can go for at least 2 years post-study work, right? Post-study work, right? So they can do that. So I love to suggest all the our international loving student to prepare for the process and all. Why? Lots of, because last time student apply Feb March intake, I think not 100%. My knowledge, 50-60% student have arrived that time, and they gone through the classes and all. But rest of the student, even July also, that's none of the student got the enrollment. And same thing, November intake also. Lots of students are in the queue. So there are lots of students waiting for the classes. And here in Australia, once they do the process, sometime if they do delay, they won't get the seats also. That's the one major concern. So in my request, now we're already back to in Australia, all the stage, it's very normal. It's normal. And I know in Nepal and India and other countries also, again, we are suffering from COVID-19. But we are hoping to, we are expecting, very soon, vaccine is going on, right? So that's why I love to suggest all the international students, all for the process, and do prepare for your PT classes and IELTS classes, and do process for your application and the visa process. Let's say, for example, if they got a visa, or no matter you can apply later on, you can take a 1 or 2 unit also. In that way, you can go ahead, right? And if you can't fly in the March intake, definitely in the July or November, easily you can fly. So you can take a 1 unit or 2 unit in your semester, and then after other rest of, if you don't have that possibility, internet or some kind of facility, you can defer your semester also. In that way also you can go ahead. So I love to suggest them go ahead for the further process. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. So students, you heard Ram, sir, as a lot of positive news are coming. So there is no reason to hold your processing. So you can apply to Australia and not wait like when the borders will open. Right, sir?
Yep.
Okay. So moving back to Prakash, sir. Sir, we are not actually prepared about this, COVID-19. We are not aware that this thing might gonna happen, right? And even we and students, we are not prepared like how to battle with it or how to move our life with it. So what do you think, we being an agency, how can we prepare our student regarding their processing and everything?
So this is a situation, Sapna, no one has ever thought about. Neither us at our end, neither the students nor the institutions or the country rulers out throughout the world ever thought that this is the situation we would face so soon enough. I mean, none of us were prepared for this situation. But over the last 8 or 9 months, we've gone through so much now. Things have become new normal. The way we define our life has already become a new normal. Uh, Lots of things have happened over past few months. We have seen plenty of countries or plenty of states, cities locked down. Uh, Beside saving yourself, your family members, there's nothing much we were doing at one point of time, but we've moved on from that. We've now found ways to make sure that our life can begin in new ways, our life can continue on in new ways. So do ours, the students as well. If I have to talk about particularly education industry itself, when we've seen many institutions do invest in more technology, more into a virtual or online platforms now than before. That's something many institutions ever never thought about. Maybe probably we're probably planning to invest in future. Similarly, for agents like us as well, we had limited platforms to offer online educational courses to our students as well. But during last few months, we've made sure that we can offer IELTS preparation classes or TOEFL or PT preparation classes, or be it the online counseling as well, done completely through virtual platforms. So in a way, when this initially the COVID-19 impact started, if we would put up any advertisement saying, okay, you can still prepare, you can still go on with your preparation, and as soon as things are normal, you can go abroad, it would be something that many people didn't really wanted to go into. Even us agency would sometimes be seen as someone just looking into someone just looking for business only. But now with time, our students, our parents, our all partners, stakeholders have started realizing that things has to move ahead in new ways. So we've seen our students now reluctant on coming for online courses. Lots of things have changed. Many cities are seem to be more safer than before. So we've seen some physical approaches from the students and parents as well. Now we consultants or consultancy firms in Nepal are able to open offer physical counseling as well. We are now in the verge of operating our physical classes as well. We've already requested our governments to make sure that they give us a proper way so that we can carry safety measures and do physical classes. Of course, we have been doing online classes. So in a way, the situation had led us to make sure that each of us, all these stakeholders or all the part of the society, slowly, gradually, they integrate to the new way of life. And if it has to be along with the education in Australia, something that we got to tell our students and parents, see, we've seen one pilot project already operate for the Darwin. So it has gone smooth as of now. We've already seen something being announced by the NSW government as well, that there will be every week intake of around 1,000 students soon enough to get international students back to Australia. I see lots of institutions, universities, and state governments as well as national government in Australia work on ways to get international students back to Australia. If it is about Nepalese end, our government is already opening for plenty of countries. If any student has got the visas or they are allowed to travel by the next country, the country they want to enter, they have been released from the Nepal borders. So that way, I mean, our students can go and join the institution or the country wherever they want to. And but during this period, see, we've seen lots of things change. So that means the way international education would be perceived before and now, we see there's lots of change. More financial preparedness has to be among the students and parents. So this is a time where we believe education institution or the partners like us, the education agents, need to ensure that students and parents do understand the new way of meeting out the expenses when they go for abroad education. We see lots of scholarships or subsidies in the fees being offered by institution. In the meantime, there were a time when our A student would even look for some pocket money expenses through part-time work, but that might not be something pretty easy at this very moment. So our students and parents have to think on new way of meeting the expenses as well. So there has to be better financial preparedness. But this preparedness has actually given us new thing, or this COVID has given us new thing as well. Our students can still stay along with their family members, save time, save money at study online, and complete part of their course. And later on, when it's easy to travel, they can go abroad or the country of their choices or institution of their choices, or today being specific to the VIT or Australia, and simply go on and complete their course. So in a way, the situation have been different, and we see slowly we've been able to communicate the same message to our students and parents community as well. And slowly students have started developing again the same kind of uh, interest to go to Australia for study. So all of us are actually working on the same range, same area, and we see students and parents more understanding the new situation than before, or the new perception line for the international education has now slowly begun to be established.
Thank you, Prakasha. That was really useful. Now we have complete our one section regarding the student preparedness, and now I'm moving toward the other topic, that is current COVID-19 Australia's response. As we know that now we are getting visas, students are getting, they are very much eager to study online classes. They are doing processing and everything and everything, but what actually Australian government and immigrations are planning to bring the international students during this COVID is one of the major question. And I want to ask this question to Big Answer. Big Answer?
Is in mood? Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
Thanks, Mamal, for this wonderful event. I think this is very nice that we have actually initiated a good event during this COVID, and I think we have to make such kind of event on a regular basis to keep this business alive. So I think we all know that there are positive news after 8 or 9 months. Australian government, different state governments, they have planned to bring international students on phase wise. Okay, not on a normal basis, but on the phase wise. And then there are in early 2021 they have planned to bring these international students, but we don't know the date when they are going to open the border. But it's a positive thing that we need to be hopeful that they are maybe on the mid of, means by March, by April it can happen, or it can reach up to the May 2021. So what we need to tell to the students is that if they are really planning to go Australia, they can start from now. They can study IELTS, and they can apply for the offer letter. Even the government, they have Nepal government, they have started giving NOC, no objection of a certificate. The High Commission is giving visas. The airports are getting opened now. So I think this is a time to get ready and to apply, so that when the border opens, they can just fly to Australia. So I think we know that Prakash has already covered the Darwin government has already as a pilot project, they have already taken few students. So Sydney, they have already announced that by early 2021 they're going to welcome new international students. Like in Melbourne, Victoria government have already started. So this is a positive news after 8-9 months. So we have to stay positive. We have to keep this this economy moving on. That's amazing.
Thank you, Big Answer. So we can say that the Australian government and the immigration, they are trying their best to, support and get the international students so that they can have this, face-to-face class and everything. So yeah, Australian governments are trying their best to get all of us in, their onshore and on like face-to-face classes. But But what about the Nepal government? Prakash sir, what do you think? Nepal government and agency, are they trying to do something to encourage all our students to go to Australia and study over there? Are there any effort they are putting?
So lots been done, Sapna. We've already seen, I mean, lots of programs being done to support the current student as well as new student. We've seen ECA run a funding program for students back in Australia.
Mhm.
Similarly, ECAN and other local association in Nepal also tried their best to make sure that we support students around the world during this COVID pandemic. To make sure that things again move ahead in positive directions for the international education industry, uh, we made sure that we approach the Nepalese government and try and make sure that our students are again offered the no objection letter. There was a time the no objection letter was not being issued by Nepalese government. And one of the key benefits, of course, it has not been as smooth as we would have liked, but still Nepal government started issuing no objection letter through online medium. So now no objection letter is currently being issued to students who do qualify to get that. We've made sure that we communicate with the foreign government agencies as well as Visa Lodgement Center. Now, almost all of the Visa Lodgement Center that operate in Nepal are already open, except for few countries. Most of the Visa Lodgement Centers in Nepal are operating. So particularly if I have to say about Australia, we've already started, our students have already started going for the BFS appointment, going for the biometrics and all. Am I being audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Um, if we have to see about where the our source market is, we've seen class 12 examination recently being completed, and bachelor's and master's examinations are being conducted by all the universities. Um, uh, the online test preparation classes were going on for last few months. Now even physical classes are being prepared to start by the preparation houses or the consultancy companies, and we've already made government officials to formally allow us to have the physical classes as well. We've been virtually guiding our students for courses and other need of theirs. Now, even if it has to be about ECAN, we've announced virtual ECAN education fair in a month's time so that all of our members can again work to make sure that the business and the information is again, information is passed on to students and parents, and the business be carried out in new manners. So we've been making sure enough business environment for our consultants, enough information and resource information for our parents, and enough support from the government when it comes to making sure all these things are put in place is being done. And ECAN and fellow associations are closely working to make sure that we support our students, our parents, as well as all our institutions through continuous engagement with Nepalese government, as well as engagement between us to make sure there is enough information that things are happening in positive direction and for the positives of international education.
Thank you so much,
Thank
sir.
you,
It is
Sapna.
it is quite true. It is quite true that the issuance of the NOC and the resume and the biometric has resumed. So it shows the support from the Nepal government towards the student for their journey to study in Australia, and of course the support that ECAN has provided to students, even that is very appreciable. Moving back to other question, like we heard that the group of students who went to another territory, they have to stay in quarantine for 2 weeks, and the university would bear everything, the funding and the stuff, all the expenses during their stay in the quarantine. So I want to ask Mr. Abdul Mamun, what arrangement VIT College has if the student has to stay in quarantine in Australia?
Thank you for asking, Sapna. Certainly, we are regulated by the regulatory bodies for our education. And of course, the health regulatory body has been fantastic over the last 6 to 8 months' time that we have seen how we have controlled, how we have managed and overcome these challenges that in the last 8 months that if we compare with the other countries like, other, I would say, the preferred study destination, where is the UK and USA and Canada, and where how we have managed to come bring down to in Victoria, I heard 43 days in a row, 0 cases. So of course, the regulatory body and the direction that have given to the organization and the institutes and other the relevant stakeholders, they have been following up all these regulations. And as a Australian institute, we have to be regulated by that. So any direction the government will come up, we'll have to follow that regulations. So for example, when the health regulation given an option for us students to deliver online, we went to online. When they opened, okay, face-to-face, you're going to face-to-face. If there need to be any quarantine that needs to be supported by VIT, certainly we are ready to do so. And in addition to that, not only regulating the health regulatory body direction, but we as a provider taking various initiatives to support our students. For example, the VIT has given $1.1 million as support for our 1,100 students to help them reduce their tuition fee during this pandemic. That is a significant achievement that we have done. And I say it is one of the institute in Australia as a private institute have done that, which shows that we care our student. And why not? We can do the quarantine if required. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. That was really good news for all the students that VIT is so much concerned about their students and all their quarantine experience and everything. Thank you so much to say it. So this was the last question of our section. So beginning towards the new section, that is the challenges and the opportunities. I want to ask Ramchandra sir. So though we have already discussed it about the advantages of applying right now, but I want you to say it again, like what are the advantages that student will get if they apply right now in Australia?
Thank you, Swapnaji. This is in my knowledge, this is the very, very good advantage for international students to apply now. Lots of university, huge support, huge scholarship they are providing. Different government university, even not only private sector higher education provider. Let's say 30%, 40% scholarship they are getting. Even I want to say VIT, if I'm not wrong, they are providing almost 50% scholarship. So in this situation, they can use their help, which has been done by university, given by university to them. That's for betterment. It's a very, very, very better situation for them. And next things, I have seen here, their tuition fees per semester tuition fees 15,000. Now, if they have given the 30-40% scholarship, how much tuition fee they are getting now? Almost 9,000, 9,500, less than 10,000. So it means, let's say, for example, any student those who comes here, they can't earn, easily, that much amount to cover their whole tuition fee and the food as well, right? Mm-hmm. So that's why I love to say, do prefer, go ahead for that. None of the university has, given the compulsion, oh, you have to take the 4 unit. They haven't said that. You can go through the 1 unit. You can go through the 2 unit. Even let's say they do process their visa. If they granted the visa, they can do that for also. If they have their own special circumstances, they can write an email to them straightly, or they can get the help from the agency or education agent. They help to them how to go for the deferment. If they have genuine reason, definitely, if they have internet problem, if they have family problem, they can go through the deferment. It's not a problem. And the next one, my question is why the passing I know we face the challenging time. So now we are alive. This is, I love to say it's a thanks God. So lots of people, suffering from, see the European countries, see the US, lots of people are suffering. But they have, different countries they have a big one, their beauties, but Australia has a most beauties. That I love to say. So let's see the, previously, Prakash sir and the Bigyan sir, especially also already, share their experience and their expertise, none of the people, die for the hunger in hospital, to be honest with you. Even Nepalese different organization, even university, even college, see the VIT, how they are supporting the student, how much millions of dollars they are supporting the student. Even they are, providing the sometimes gift or the food, $100 or something, I seen the, Mamun also told me time to time. If any student are suffering, we are helping to them. Even different, let's say, Victoria State, here the government also, even NSW, even Northern Territory, even WA, different state government, they are helping their international students one there. So that's why no need to be worried. So those students who are here, so now they don't have time. They are getting full-time job. So even they are doing the 2 shift. So I love to suggest all the students, if you are ready, do prepare for your test preparation. Let's say English preparation first, PT, IELTS, TOEFL, whatever, and go for the process ahead. Any issues come, anything else, ECAN is there, NAI is there, and again, ECA is here from the Australian Alliance is here. So we are ready to support you from our in-house. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was really promising. Aske sir, as Ram sir said that Australia has the most beauty, but many of the students, they have this conflict in their mind regarding other destinations. So what do you have to say about, when you compare Australia and other destinations?
Thank you, Shobha. This is, in fact, $1 million question, and there should not be conflict, which is obvious, when they think of going abroad. It's very difficult to choose a country for them. I have experienced that in my kids. My daughter went to Australia, my son went to UK, and he's back now. And then my younger daughter is planning to go to Germany. So 3 kids in 3 different. But at the moment, Australia proved themselves that Australia is the best for international students, because during this pandemic time, Australia is the only country, so far I noticed, who helped the international students, the local community, the Nepalese community, the Indian community, the respective communities, the universities, some offer the food voucher, some offer the food bank, they organize food bank, some offered lunch. And even the government, the Victoria government, NSW government, Adelaide government, all these governments came forward to support international students during this pandemic time. I think this is a big support for the international students, very much needed. So great work, So I think this is, they proved themselves that this is the best, okay? Now, in terms of other, this criteria, when a student plan to go abroad, I think they need to look at some of the qualifications or some of the requirements about themselves. Like, for example, what course they want to choose. They have to evaluate themselves. They have to do some research, what course they want to do and what degree they want to apply, their financial condition, because that's very important, because we didn't want any students go to these countries and end up, sleeping at the park. We didn't want that, as in UK happened a few years back, And what is the most important? What is their career plan? They want to continue their job there, or they want to move to other countries for the career, for job, and what is the immigration plan? This is also very important. They want to settle down there, or they want to come back here. Obviously, we want them to come back here and work for the nation, but up to it's their choice. So these are the basic questions, they need to answer first. If they answer, then they get the, very easy way to decide. But when we talk about Australia, oh my God, Australia is so popular among Nepalese students. Obviously, there are other countries like UK and USA, but they have their own flaws, And now USA, the problem they are facing, the insecurity and all that. Even if you look at the Global Peace Index, USA is far behind. I think Australia is in 12th position, and then 12 or 13, and then UK is below 100. US is below 100. So they have their own problem, the security issues, the racism and all that. So in terms of Australia, there are lots of good point in terms of education. They have globally accepted education, the global standard. They have a group of 8 universities, lots of other universities, which are ranked among top 100 universities in the world. So they get a very good, very well recognized global qualifications. And some of the people might ask the living cost is high. Yes, the accommodation seems a bit high, but if you look at, the other fooding expenses, which is much, much lower than UK and other countries, maybe that's because of the exchange rate. At the moment, exchange rate of Australia is less in comparison to UK and USA.
We lost
I
Mr.
think,
SK
yeah.
somehow.
Uh,
Oh, he's back.
So living cost is manageable. When the students they live together in student accommodation or the private accommodation, that is manageable. Another one thing I think I would like to stress is diversity in education. See, Australia is the only country, which offer education right from certificate level to diploma level, advanced diploma, at a very beautifully designed pathway to the university. And obviously they have wide, just name it, there are wide range of courses, the coursework, the research work, up to the doctorate degree, so wide range of courses, so beautiful design courses, so very good diversity in the education. And the weather, I think I need to mention this, if you go to the Europe, it's pretty, I'm damn cold, during the winter season. If you go to Canada, 6 to 9 months covered with snow. And if you go to USA also, same thing, sometimes bushfire, sometimes snow in the same place. So they have a very drastic different weather. But in Australia, I think it's a very moderate weather. Yeah, sometimes we get bushfire. This is a global thing, we cannot control it. But they have a very, pleasant weather, whether this is in Melbourne or Sydney or Adelaide or any other places, a very good weather. So I think Nepalese like that weather. And racism, which is a very hot topic at the moment, we can see lots of incidents happening in USA, and we can't say there is no racism in Australia, but very less in comparison to other, because the law against racism in Australia is very, very strict. So very well protected, the international communities. And in one very beautiful part of Australian universities, I found a very diverse students, from different countries. If you go to other countries, we might find in one university very less, maybe 10 to 15% international students. But when we talk about the Australian universities, some of the universities have 50% international students, from different countries around the globe. So it's a very fantastic combination of these students from different things, not only in the university, but in the society also. Very mixed culture, very mixed group, the Asian, the European, the African, everyone is there. And there's a long list of, and the students, they can have a lots of outdoor activities. Australia is very famous for outdoor activities, beach, jungle, hiking, biking, whatever they want, surfing, they can do. Lots of outdoor activities and the social activities they can do. One thing, finally, I want to say that the students are very much protected by the Australian government. If you look at the SS Act, if you look at the TPS, the interest of the students are very much protected, unlike other countries. So these are the main points, Sapna. But they are long list, but these are the main points which I think students should consider before deciding to go other countries. I think they should consider obviously Australia.
Can I just add one thing, SK, if you allow, if I may? Within this, the COVID situation, one of the things to very important that we should highlight, that the economic situation, okay, how the Australia control this COVID spread, which means I think Australia, other than any countries, will come back economy strongly compared to UK or USA. Look at their the COVID number of cases, how it's spreading day by day, and how Australia is doing. So which means the opportunity for the students when they arrive, they have a better chance to get the job immediately, because sooner the economy comes back, it's a better for our students. When they land here, the better job opportunity for them. Even though you say UK border is open, even though they go there, I don't think it will be very easy for them to settle in immediately as soon as they land. Just wanted to add that despite the fact we are running out of time, over to you, Sapna. You have to manage the time in well manner.
Yeah, so
Thank you.
I'm going to move this session really fast. So
Yes.
due to this, COVID, many of the us has been economically, they had hit us. So in this kind of scenario, a small amount of scholarship from the university would be, great thing for the student. So what are the scholarships and extra scholarships that the VIT is planning to give to a student who studies online?
See, look, Sapna, other than VITs, many other institutes are offering a scholarship. The main thing to take away here today is the scholarships available for the upcoming, which is most recent intake. Scholarships are not available for July. As soon as the border opens, many of the providers will say, thank you, let's back to the original price, which means students will lose significant amount of money if they wait for the border to open and apply. Okay, so this is something very critical for our students to understand. This is opportunity when providers are offering scholarships. You should take an opportunity. You should take that advantage of that. And other than the other benefits that student has to get ready, as Vigan said, you need to get ready now. Be in the queue. Once the border opens, you come and fly in. Not when the border opens and there will be hundreds of thousands of applications in the queue. It will be very difficult students, and there will be very high chances the visa refusal and other concerns and less scholarships. So yes, VIT is offering up to 100% scholarships. Other than that, 50%, 40%, many other scholarships are available for our students. Over to you.
Students, it's 100% scholarship. It's time to grab it. So, big answer. Although we are not, all students are not getting to enjoy, on-campus facilities. So, do you think like it is, fair enough for them to pay the price of, online campus? Although they are studying here online, but they have to pay the same price as they used to pay when they used in Australia. So, do you think it is fair enough for students?
Yeah, Sapanaji, I think there are a lot of universities that are offering now online courses and at a very reasonable price. I don't think they have charged the full fees. There are few universities that have given a very huge discount. Even some of the universities they are not charging. There are free courses available. Some courses are not non-credit course, and some courses are leading with credit exemption. So I don't think now, in the past few months, there were universities who are charging full fees, and some were actually giving very less scholarship. But I think there were a lot of debate and then discussion went, and now I think there are universities that they are offering in a very reasonable rate. But I think that is also actually helping students to retain, and those students who want to go to Australia, they can at least stay at home and study the course at a reasonable cost. And when the border opens, they can still get the credit at a very reasonable cost, and it's going to reduce the cost as well. So I think it is a good advantage. The price factor is also very reasonable because if they go to Australia, they have to pay the full fee. So now when they are at home, they are studying at a reasonable price, and when the border opens, they get visas, and then they can fly back, and then they can join the on-campus courses. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. So Prakash, sir, back to you. What do you think? What are the challenges that students are facing due to this pandemic?
Sapna, see, they've lost some time, of course, in making sure what they are to decide.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the key things that we've lost, or our students have lost.
Mm-hmm.
The next thing was probably the psychological issues they had to face, be it someone who were already studying overseas or someone who was in the process. They lost money, they lost time, they were engaged in the process, they were not sure whether to continue ahead or to again leave the process and continue with something else. So those are some of the key things that I guess students faced more. But it did provide lots of opportunities as well. See, I can think of that. I have spent so much of time with my kids, with my family members during this COVID. I hardly got to enjoy over the last 10, 15 years of my professional career. So there is always good to these things as well. I mean, lots of students, if they go overseas, they might again rejoin their family after years, but they had enough time to make sure that they feel close, they spend time, they engage with them in plenty of things, discussions, future plans, or closely understand the family financials. At times, we see someone would just complete 12 or bachelor would hardly recognize about the real financial situation of their family, because most of the time the parents pay the expenses. They hardly have to think about anything. How do the parents actually earn and meet all the expenses? So they have understood better their family, their situation, and everything. So in a way, they have known their strengths. They've known some of the weaknesses there, as well. So getting know all these things actually helps them prepare better for new life, new way of approaching the education overseas as well. I guess that's the biggest take that we take. We all of us take. We had a break where we could re-energize ourselves, reassess ourselves. Our students did that, I believe. We ourselves did it. Even our institutions or providers out there in Australia did it as well, so that they could think about long-term plans. So that's the reason at the initial stage when we were approaching institutions about any fee discounts or scholarship for our student, the take was no. But when they realized, I mean, this is not something that only institutions face, are facing. It's the students, the parents, it's the agents, everyone is in the same boat. So I guess all of us worked out a right way to make sure that this industry remains at and maintains the core ethics of this industry and push ahead. I guess from all of this, our students are now better prepared to come challenge any sort of challenges that may come in the future. And we all are here to, of course, make sure that their life ahead is better, always organized, better educated, better informed, so that they make the right decision in making sure they choose VIT or as well as the better providers are there in Australia. And of course, Australia as an educational destination, because it has really behaved, the Australia as a nation has really done tremendous job in making sure international students are well regarded, they are safe out there, and their education is, I mean, the importance, the value, and everything is kept in par to the standard before. So I guess that sums up what I want to say.
So yeah, we are running out of time and I want to wrap up the questions because all the rest of the questions are already answered. So I want to throw the last questions to Prakash sir. It's regarding the biometry in Nepal. Is it running smoothly as it has been having some of the technical issues?
See, we've been closely working with the team, VFS team over here in Nepal. If it is Australia, it's pretty smooth. We don't normally see much backlogs. If we see higher number of demands, we've been making sure our requests are met. We continuously engage with them to make sure they communicate with the student. Any appointments are not missed by any of our clients. Any appointments are not booked before someone is actually ready to go and submit their biometrics. So we are trying to make sure we ensure that. For some of the visa lodgement center for other countries, yes, of course, there are a few issues, but our job has always been to make sure our students and our members are better serviced. So we've been continuously making sure we engage with the VFS authority and ensuring everything goes pretty smooth.
Thank you so much, Prakash sir. It was so good to talk with all the experts here, and I believe all our students and attendees, they have all the knowledge they required. Still, the chat box is there. You can still type the question if you want, and I want to express my deep thank you for saying everything. Me being an agent, I learned a lot from you guys, and before leaving the session, I want if you have anything to say at the end of the session, Mr. Abdul sir. So you are in mute.
Mamoni, you are mute.
Okay.
Sorry. Thank you very much, Sapna, for running this session smoothly. It was wonderful. And I would like to thank everyone, the distinguished guest here, Mr. Prakash, Mr. Vigyan, and Ramchandra, as well as SK sir, for joining and expressing and sharing your insight, experience, and also the thoughts about this current situation, how students should react to this situation. It was wonderful. At last, I just wanted to highlight for you the key points that we have covered today. One of the thing is that preparedness with your financially that needs to be reassessed, because it's not how we have done in the past, as Mr. Prakash said. And of course, another thing is I just pointed out that you need to get ready. Get ready before the time's out, before this border opens. When the border opens, there will be a lot of competition, there will be a lot of application, there will be less scholarships. So students needs to be get ready and apply and start your career or start online, so that you are in the queue to come to Australia. This is the time you should get ready. I guess if anyone has to say any last message for our students, that'd be really good.
Yeah, thank you, sir. This is a very warm welcome from Victoria, because I'm living in here. But I'm not saying NSW is not good. It's the best place. Even again, Queensland surface paradise. Gold Coast is also most beautiful place. That's so that Australia is very eager to see you. All the international students who are willing to apply. We go through the process, because definitely it's taking time for getting the offer letter. Doing the preparation for your English test and processing the offer letter. Again, processing for GT concern and the COE. Again, and coming here by flight and each and everything need to take a process. So definitely we can't do it can't be the overnight. So go ahead for the further process. Any need, any support, any help. If you need from our end, we all the association, we all the agency, we are ready to support you. Thank you so much, and thank you again, VIT. Such a very beautiful session have been done. I know it's a very unique idea. Mamun, he's always unique person. So, and thank you, Sapna, and thank you my respective Prakash sir and Vigyan sir and SK sir and all the entire whoever that join in this section. Thank you so much. From my heart and the Grace International Group and the ECHA and NIRE and ICHA and everything. Thank you.
Yes. Okay, let me speak then. I guess all of us are waiting to make sure that we make the end note. Thank you, Mamoon, for actually having all of us today. Thank you, Sapna, for wonderfully throwing questions to us. My request to you, the VIT team, I guess we had some technical issues as well. I guess we were not live in Facebook, I guess, because we didn't really get the link. I would love this video to be edited and posted in VIT Facebook, so that we get the link and we are able to share through all our medias. So anyone who could not really attend today and miss the information, they could possibly later on see the video recordings and get updated.
Absolutely, we'll do so.
For the opportunity.
Thank you.
From my side also, just 30 seconds. Thank you, Mamoon. Thank you, Sapna. You are a wonderful moderator, Sapna. Well done. Yeah, for students, all that this now COVID is a part of life. We have to live with it, but considering that, we should not waste time. So students, please do not waste your time. Whatever you can do to upgrade your skills, please do that. And then this time to work, time to act. Australia will open definitely, and consider Australia as one of the best destinations for your studies. And go ahead and make your life.
At 30 seconds, I'll take 30 seconds from that. So lastly, I just want to say that because of the COVID, I think the students has to be more prepared financially. If they're planning to go to Australia, they need to make some little bit more budget, because of the crisis, there might be little bit of job crisis the first year. So we as an association, as an education provider, we have to be very careful when we are going to choose the students so that they don't get prolonged or stranded with their when they land in Australia. So we have to be very careful because there will be a lot of students they want to go to Australia when the border opens. Everybody is waiting. It is a fantastic country. You know, I love it a lot. And maybe there are a lot of students they want to go to Australia. There are a lot of relatives, their friend circle, they're in Australia, but we have to be very careful so that the market doesn't get crashed when it opens. So that's the most thing, and it is all our responsibility to promote it very nicely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. By this much, I think we should wrap the session, and with the hope that we'll meet pretty soon with other virtual session. So thank you so much. Thank you, everyone, and hope to see you again soon. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.